But a lot of people have argued that government has no business in running cattle. That this is essentially a private business, and you cannot usurp people's land. You cannot forcefully take people's property away from them, because this is essentially a private business. So what people are saying is they should go and buy their piece of land if there's any available for their grazing. What do you see to this line of argument?
We have not looked at the modalities, and I think we have to be careful. But I don't think they are going to seize anybody's land to create a business in cattle ranching. We know other places where people have taken over, bought over land. I mean, there are places where you have markets today. The market predominantly occupied by maybe not the indigents, but then they are doing their businesses and they are paying whatever they have to pay. And that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing it from a point of view of a businessman. They are not going to seize people's land and not compensate them. And they are not going to force people. People who also said they want to be taking royalty, they want to be the landlord. But these people will be kept in a confined area, not forcibly taken from anybody, not anybody being derived of the thing. And they have their own business. I'm looking at a situation where we don't have this cattle roaming all over the place. I would expect that it will be taken to maybe a forest somewhere remote from the center of the city.
Fortunately, a lot of political undertone has been brought towards this, the way the federal government has handled the herdsmen crisis. A lot of accusations that the federal government has not handled the herdsmen the way it has handled IPOB in the East. So do you think that the federal government could be deliberately fanning the embers of this herdsmen crisis? Is there a political undertone to this?
We talk of herdsmen and we talk of terrorists or criminals. The sort of crime that is being committed has not even been narrowed down to the herdsmen. It could be Boko Haram people that are killing people. Because I always wonder, when somebody goes with about 100 cattle and he goes to shoot in a village and he goes back with his 100 cattle, is it visible? And even the security agents today, they don't know. We don't even know whether it's the Boko Haram people, is the terrorists, or somebody some set who just want to destabilize the nation that are behind all this. And that's why I'm saying the government is the one that is in charge, that should have known. They have state security service, they have the police, they have the army, they have intelligence service, they have all these things. They should have been able to come out and tell us what this problem is.
Some international experts are alleging some international conspiracy by the superpowers to, in disguise, arm these herdsmen to cause a kind of instability in the nation. Do you subscribe to some of these views?
Why would they do that, and what do they stand to gain? I'm not one of those who would want to lay blame on a third person for something that you are responsible for and to fix right. What do they stand to gain for them?
What they are saying is that the international community, that some of these superpowers are threatened by Nigeria's potential.
I think we should tell ourselves the home truth, that we have not gotten it right as a people. We have not appreciated what God has given us. I mean, every time we are always thinking of a different thing entirely.
But what's the way out of this quagmire, of this herdsmen crisis, this serial killing that we've been having recently?
Visionary leadership. We need a leader that we can all look up to, that will lead us, a Nigerian leader, that is nationalist in outlook and in behavior, who would let us realize that, first, we are Nigerians. And wherever you are a Nigerian, and you can live peacefully, not all these divisions, because the problem with politicians that we have in Nigeria these days is either they will talk about tribe, or you talk about religion. That's the basis of politics in Nigeria.
Now, let's look at the economic outlook now. Interestingly, the oil sector takes a bold print in Nigeria's economic outlook. And unfortunately, this sector has been plagued with what looks like an unending fuel crisis. So what do you make of all this fuel scarcity across the nation?
We've always been saying that that sector should be deregulated. Government being in it is actually the problem. At a time when the fuel was selling, the crude oil was selling for below $40, we were rejoicing and thinking that there was no subsidy. And foolishly, we thought it would remain at that level. But now, it has gone on almost double the price at that time. So we need to deregulate this sector.
Now, when you say that the international price of crude has risen from $40 per barrel to $70 per barrel, one would expect that that should be something to cheer, because one of the outcry, one of the lamentations of the federal government in the last 2 years was the decline in the revenue as a result of the as a result of the dwindling prices of crude oil. But now rising to 70, I think that should bring a positive impact into the nation, isn't it?
It's not as straightforward as that. The government is keeping the price at 145, for instance, for PMS. And if it goes to 70, you can sell profitably at 149 as a private person who has to import. Your landed cost, the said landed cost is in excess of 160 something naira. So somebody has to pay subsidy. And we know the sort of abuses that goes along with the subsidy. And it should also not be to our joy that that price has gone up, because we are import-dependent economy.
So from this whole arrangement now, would you say there is a subsidy?
There must be subsidy. Something that you are buying below, that was selling for below 40, is now selling at 70. Somebody has to pay.
When you say the landing cost is about 170 naira, and the sale is 145 at the pump price, so this is a clear bridging cost. So who is subsidizing who? Where is this money coming from? Is it because clearly the appropriation bill has no subsidy in it. So where is this money coming from? Because it looks as if there is a suspected case of violence in all this now.
It's NNPC and government that will have to explain, but I can only imagine what it could be. I mean, they could see it as a business venture. You can do business and make a loss. You report a loss. Maybe the system will now have to make up for it eventually. But then, undoubtedly, we all know that something that you buy under 40, that was going for less than 40 now, that is hitting 70, somebody has to pay the bill.